Hello, everybody. This is Jennifer Fox, Fox Property Management. This is Fox Talks. And today I am wearing a hat representing a new project coming to downtown Louisville called the Grain Yard. This is the conversion of an old grain elevator, which is a historic building in Louisville. It was where everybody gathered. And, Louisville was really a agricultural center and both mining and agriculture. And so as the train came through, people would bring all of their product and then it would be stored there and then put onto the trains and sent out. And there's a new investment or new group, a local group of owners that actually live in Louisville and surrounding areas that have bought this historic building and are converting it into a new concept. It's super exciting and in process of passing city planning and city council. It actually passed city planning with a unanimous vote. And so now it's moving on. So if you see people wearing this, you will know about it and you'll have to come visit it on Front Street in 2026. Today, what I want to talk about is about specific areas of real estate. So Fox Property Management, we manage property um, all through Boulder County, up into Longmont, all along the I-25 corridor, and into Denver. So Denver, kind of east as you touch on Aurora and down south and around all the way through Golden and back up. So we have, kind of a large area of management expertise. We're managing about 1,300 properties, just over that right now, and we have the capability to continue to take properties under management. So there's some different areas to consider. So Boulder will always do well in real estate in general. Boulder's done a lot of building. So our attached dwellings are saturated right now, especially older units are having a harder time renting because there's new units that are available. The newer units are offering all sorts of, concessions and different ways to start absorbing that inventory, getting people into rentals. And so it's a little bit of a tougher market in Boulder, but the Boulder market always does well. People want to live here. You've got the university. It's a great place to invest. However, it's also a really difficult place to make the numbers work. If you are not putting enough money down on that investment. So it's an interesting place. It's a great place to rent a property that you own already, a more difficult place to buy a property and rent it unless you're buying it for cash or putting a decent amount of money down on the property. As you move out east, Louisville, not too different, right? And Lafayette, these are very popular areas. Superior, we go out towards Broomfield, great community, great schools. Go north to Longmont. You can start looking at a lot of different opportunities, but are you looking for an attached dwelling that's got an HOA, which can be a whole nother thing that you need to look into? Is the HOA warrantable? What are the costs of that HOA? How does that play into the affordability of that property for you? And then looking at the rent rates. It is really, really, really important if you're going to buy an investment property that you realistically consider what rent is. We just had a situation where someone came to us to rent their property and they had a completely different idea of what this new property they bought would rent for. They didn't have the information they needed when they purchased it. And so it's a huge shock for them. So it's really important to have that information, and we will always be a resource for you on that. So if there's a property you're interested in renting, a property you're interested in buying to rent, please reach out to us to get an assessment of what to anticipate so that you can really feel good about the decision you're making. You don't get caught off guard. Um, so you've got the attached dwelling option, which you really got to be considering HOA and how that plays in. Also amenities, are you choosing an attached dwelling with a gym and a pool and all those things, those that can increase the HOA fee, or if the complex is older, the HOA fees are often higher because you're preparing for all the things that need to be done to keep the property in good condition. So a lot of decisions to make around that. But what there is to know is it's a great time to buy those properties if you can get into a property that's well priced with a decent HOA, because the prices are really low right now. They just are. There's just great opportunities to get into the market. So Boulder and all those surrounding areas, in general, those properties are always going to perform well. But we are in a bit of a moment where if you can buy in, you're probably going to see some appreciation. If you bought 3 years ago, your appreciation is flat. If you buy now, you're probably going to see an increase over time. If you go into Denver, the interesting thing in Denver is that there's just so much to choose from. And if you're in downtown Denver, you're really competing with those large investor, those large projects, right? Where they just released thousands of units. So if you're going to invest in Denver, get into areas that offer something different, right? Walk score to great little shops and restaurants. Um, different vibe. It's going to be tough if you're competing right downtown. But if you get a little bit west or a little bit south in areas, single family homes, I think, Denver has just a ton to offer people. And so there's great opportunity to buy an investment property in that area. And have great success. And again, if you've got an address and you have something that's interesting, send it to us and we can let you know what we think it would rent for and help you as you're making that decision. So Denver's a great market, but be careful about you're competing with the more commercial release of condos and attached dwellings in Denver, especially downtown. If you're looking for a property, find something with character or something special about it that attracts people that want to be maybe just on the outskirts or just in a different area. And then single family homes are always going to be great. If you're on the I-25 corridor, there's a lot of building that's happened, especially on the east side. And there's some good opportunities out there. And there's a lot of families moving east, a lot of opportunity along the light rail lines. You could be looking for that. So I think the things to be thinking about are walk score, the condition of the property. Is it people want to move into nice properties? They want to move into properties that feel fresh and clean and updated. And so be thinking about the property you're purchasing or the property you own. And then, really these different markets, you're really going to have a different experience in different markets, and you're going to have different price points, and you're going to have different rental rates. And surprisingly, you can get a really good price point in some areas where the rental rate actually is higher on average. And so that could be a really nice formula for a good investment. So I said in my last talks, I'm going to say it again, it's actually a really good time to buy. And traditionally, we take on a lot of new properties in November, December, January, February, because so many investors see this as a great time to buy this time of year, regardless of what is going on around interest rates and such, because this is when motivated sellers are still on the market and they really want to sell. So this is a great time to do it if you can. These different markets, they really do produce different results. And it's important to talk with us about those markets and what we're seeing, because with 1,300 plus properties under management, we have a lot of experience in these different areas and these different HOAs and different neighborhoods. And we're really happy to share that knowledge with you. So thank you so much for listening. And as always, I'm always offering that my door's open. You can always call, set up an appointment, stop into the office. Love to talk to you about these things. And then keep an eye out for the grain yard. I'm hoping that if this video gets put out there, that we'll tag it so you can go follow the grain yard and then come visit this great location and company that's going to be filling the space there and providing a wonderful community space for gathering.